Let's have a conversation about God. Who was God? God was this man that walked this creation, this planet. He made everything: rock, metal, brick, trees, the water, ocean. He created life. He made men. He made females. He made animals. He made insects. He made everything. He made the world pure. He made the world in its purest form. Everything seemed to be going well. It was like a movie. Time went on so long, that everything felt like a movie. So he got comfortable. He felt like he could relax because after so many days of routine, you building Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you only resting on Sunday, you're not gonna be able to catch where you went wrong at. So these two lovebirds, Adam and Eve, they was wondering, playing, pure intentions, everybody naked. Nobody know what clothes is. That word don't even exist. They end up in this garden. They see this shining apple. They know not to touch it, but they just get curious. Everybody is born with curiosity. You can't lie, say that you're not, that you don't have curiosity. Everybody have curiosity. So, and to put it in other words, it's like rambling in your parents' room and coming across porn. You know damn well you ain't supposed to be looking at the porn CD. You a kid, especially if it's your parents. But you take a sneak peek, put it in your PlayStation, or put it in a DVD recorder, and see what it's, you know what I'm saying, see what pop up. So that's how they looked at the apple. So they took a little nibble of the apple thinking he won't notice. When he got back, he noticed they had on clothes or leaves that was covering themselves, their private part. Now, nobody was smarter than God, and at this point, he had powers that nobody else had. So, in everybody's eyes, he looked like a superhuman. He the people that they make sci-fi movies about. He had powers like that. He was like, "How do y'all know to cover y'all selves up? I never taught y'all that. Y'all aren't even supposed to know what that means. Y'all are supposed to be pure." So he left this earth to search through the timelines to see what happened because he had the power like that. He had a son. He never came back, but he came through his son's conscience. This is why it's important to pay attention to your conscience. He came back through Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, he got bullied over and over and over. He got tortured over and over and over. He never fought back because he understood his purpose. He understood what God was trying to tell him. He knew that the only reason why the world was the way it was because the work of his Father. And all he wanted to do was fix that. He wanted to spread the love, tell everybody that they meant something to someone, that they don't have to depend on other people to be happy. So other people just wasn't trying to hear that at the time. They had their own messed up stuff going on. They just wanted to bully him. They wanted him to do some dirt because they didn't believe he was the black sheep. They didn't believe he was the outcast. They wondered why he was so quiet because the only person that he needed to talk to was his father, was that conscience. It's that same thing. You ignore it. Now, how can you translate that over to the real world, into today's generation? Sometimes we stumble across a little money. We don't even know how it hit our pockets sometimes. It just hit us. We ain't never seen that amount before. Some people will go straight into buying an apartment or a nice car, knowing they don't have it figured out yet. Knowing that it could catch up to them one day because they're not secured within themselves. But they're too worried about what other people would think of them, how other people would look at them. They not thinking, oh, well, in a few months, maybe a few years, it might be too much for me. They're thinking, if I fall on my knees, I'll always have somebody in my corner to reach back on to help me out. And you shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't rely on nobody else to save you. Sometimes it seems like our parents is out to get us. It seems like they're hating because they tell us, nah, don't get that car right now because it's going to cause you more trouble than good right now. Nah, don't get that apartment right now because you're not making that much to be able to afford that. You need something smaller so you can afford it. We block that out because we're too big in our ego and our pride. We thinking, man, I'm going to get what I want to get. I know how to handle this. And then as soon as stuff blow up in your face, you run to Facebook or live, crying or putting your business out there, telling people what happened, telling people that ain't nobody there by your side, ain't nobody there for you. Ain't nobody gotta be there for you. You need to be there for yourself. When stuff was blowing up, when you knew your money wasn't right, you was in a mall, you was trying to put fists together. When you know you had bigger responsibilities, when you know you had bigger priorities. This is why they play in y'all face with the Bible. You have to understand there was two gods. After they bit that apple, it was two gods. You have Jesus Christ and you have Lucifer. Most, and I don't want to seem racist when I say this, some white people is Lucifer. They don't know how to have any other passion or any other pride. All they know how to do is go to work, come home, hate other people, but do it quietly. They don't have pure hearts. They look at us like we're roaches. They'll never let us know that, but you can feel that. This is why you'll see white women be drawn to black men. They'll have black husbands because they never understood how we could rap the way that we do and still have passion and love. How we could play football and still have passion and love. How we can hoop and still have passion and love. They never understood how we can do the things that we love to do, all while dishing and speaking life and love into them. It was at a point of time where only white people used to talk to white people. But white men, they knew that they had that conscience, but they ignored it. They did bad. This is why you will see them in the documentaries and shows killing the wives and killing their whole family because they pure evil. They didn't get the things that they wanted their way, so they feel like everybody gotta suffer, everybody gotta die. That's not the way that it should be. This is why if you watch the movie Get Out, they explain to you. They only wanted the dude body because of what he could do. He had a bigger hammer and they wanted to see what that felt like. They wanted to be in our shoes. Like I said, this is why white women have black husbands. And for so long, they was cool with having white husbands because they lived in a 5D world. It didn't matter how big your penis size was. None of that mattered. As long as they was living happy, as long as they was, it was pretty outside, nature existed. They had family that was happy, kids. As long as their kids was happy, that's all that mattered. But they got fucked over time after time after time after time, and they went against their ways when they didn't want to. they felt like, well, if I'm gonna be getting treated wrong, it might as well be by a nigga with a bigger dick. I'm sorry for talking like that. That's not even how I talk. I feel bad when I cuss because shit, I know that ain't me, but I do it because that's what my flesh wants to do. That's what my flesh tell me to do. But I know better. I know better stuff than that. You know, my grandma raised me right. I always had that higher frequency in my ear that made me connected with God. It's important that you connect back with your conscience. Because some people might be watching this video saying, he don't know what he talking about, he just yapping. How am I just yapping? I'm not even speaking too big of myself. I'm not even speaking pride or ego in my name. I'm not doing anything but sitting here trying to be positive. And that's the hatred in your heart telling you that. That's what putting you closer to the devil. If you sitting there and you know you represent God, if you don't think you bigger than everybody, you have a heart, you been there before, and you understand where I'm coming from, then you is a godly creation. You know, for so long, we tried to look like the bad guys. We tried to look like we was out here beefed up with people. First of all, we used to play with guns. We used to think it was cool to flex guns on the internet. We don't know that the older folks is looking at us, asking themselves, why are they doing this? Why is they doing that? But they know if they was to message y'all, if they was to try to reach out, y'all gonna get hostile towards them for trying to help you out because you feeling like you this, you feeling like you that, you feeling like you gotta prove something. And now you feel like you gotta take their life or you gotta pull up to their house on some tough stuff. That's not what they want. They want to hold the peace. They don't want to try you. I used to think I was that N-word because I used to have, you know what I'm saying, guns with switches on it and all types of stuff. But then you have that realization. The only person that's scared of a gun with a switch is you. That's why you feel like you gotta have it. Because you know if you didn't have that and somebody came up in your face with it, you would shake out your Timbs. You wouldn't even know what you would do. You would come up off everything you got. Shirt, pants, drawers, and all. You know that. It ain't no reason to try to be tough. And then you're gonna try to slide back. You're gonna try to slide back later on with your group. Y'all all gonna end up on a news feed, on Facebook, on McLennan County mugshot. You gotta put that gun down because I'm gonna put y'all on game. You don't need it. I ain't touched the gun in almost 2 years. You don't need it. You can live life happy. All you need to do is worry about your kids. And I'm gonna put y'all on game again. You ever know you feel like you tough shit because you got big Dracos, you got Glocks, you got ARPs. But you ever notice when you get into it with your girl, she act like none of that shit exists? You like, hold on, why is you talking to me like that? Like, do she not know I play with switches? Do she not know I got guns and shit? Bro, when you create a demon, even if that's not how she want to talk, if that's not how she want to act towards you, you're creating a mirror of yourself through her. She's gonna laugh at you. None of that shit that you're doing is gonna scare her. She's gonna laugh at you. This is why when you come around her in person, you thinking, you pussy now. But when we was just, you know what I'm saying, when the distance was just strong, you was acting all tough. But now that I'm here, you not on that shit. Demons and angels clock in every day to make you do bad shit that you don't want to do. When our ancestors, when our parents die, when our loved ones die, when our grandmas and grandfathers die, we can't see them anymore, but their conscience, their soul is still here. They're fighting demons, stuff that you can't see, so you can remain the little boy that you was when you was a kid, so you can still have the encouragement to finish your path. You're not done yet. You know you're not done yet. Your purpose is still there. You just got to chase it. I got a neighbor, he white, his name Cope, but he act black. I can't say he act black, he is black. It's like a black person in a white person body. That's is how they made Jesus look. That is what they put on the face of the Bible. You will have some people that have the soul of a black person, but they come through a white person body. And the thing is, you will know something got mixed up in the line, but you'll just go for it. Not every white person got a heart though. Not every white person is evil. Not every black person is genuine. Some of them is just pure narcissists, manipulators. Some of them never wants to wake up. Some of them always want to use their voice to do bad things. But once you realize who you are, you realize you have the power to do a lot. This is why Jesus could speak wealth into other people, because of his tongue. It's not about him making other people rich overnight. People thought they was nothing. People thought they didn't mean nothing to anybody. He sat there being genuine with folks. Instead of writing short replies, making them feel simple, making them feel generic, making them feel like they just a number, he wrote long paragraphs telling them what they meant to the world, telling them how they can make a change. People being mad at other people bullying them because they was bullied. He told them that they didn't have to do that. In order to really represent God, you got to understand he was never perfect. But that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe God was perfect, so you will never be true to yourselves. But once you wake up and understand everybody not going to be perfect. Babies come out the womb curious, doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. That's why they look at something and want to touch it. They'll see a hot stove, anything, they'll want to touch it because they're curious. You tell them over and over not to do it. They still try to do it anyway. So you finally pop them. They start crying. It's not what you want to do. Everybody curious. Even a baby out the womb not going to be able to be pure. But at the same time, they don't know what's going on yet. That's why so many kids come up missing, because they know what they're doing. They're able to use the kids' conscience and soul to do things that they know they're not able, they know they're not supposed to be doing, and then they cover it up. They never tell you to stop being prideful, having this big ego, because they know they benefit from that. The same people that y'all see on TV, they look like they got all this money, NBA Youngboy, whatever rapper you want to name, they not wanting to be out here they don't want to be in the streets for real. But they know that's where the most views come from. They know ain't nobody gonna tune in unless they talking bad. That's why the rappers like Finesse 2 Times, we watch him, we think he funny. He is. I laugh at him too sometimes. Even though that's not how I want to be. We laugh at him thinking that's funny because that's where the views coming in at. That's where the money coming in at. You know who all behind that shit? White people in the office. They the only ones that got the money to own big labels like that. Niggas, we ain't never had no money like that, because every time we acquired the big fan base, the big population, the big wealth, they wipe it from our ass. Either you get taken out, you get assassinated. Niggas can't never speak game or the truth without wanting to get taken out. Because it's going to happen. Once you start to wake people up, they going to take your ass up. That's why I ain't even want to, start speaking. But shit, at this point, fuck it. I got to wake y'all up. Because every day, more people that y'all love is getting taken. And you thinking it's just stuff that's going down in the physical world. Nah, the spiritual world exists too. He trying to get y'all attention. He's not gonna come back. Well, I can't say he's not gonna come back through somebody else and tell y'all the message, because he talking through me right now. I cried just the other day because I made a whole 50-minute video, not on my phone, not rehearsing, just me talking. I ain't even know what I was saying at the time. But when you raise your conscience, you raise your frequency, you raise your vibration, God can use you as a vessel to get the voice across. It don't matter if you look good behind the camera or not. I ain't want to get behind the camera because, you know what I'm saying, I was worried about how I looked. I was worried about the angle. That shit don't matter when he trying to speak through you. You know, some people gonna skip across this video, go on about their day, do what they want to do. That's cool. I'm not gonna try to stop you. But if you did pause to watch this video, I hope you understand, and I hope you use this knowledge for the better of yourself, because you are all you got in this world. You know, they say if you kill yourself, you go to hell. They say if you kill yourself, you gonna go to hell. This is already hell. All you're gonna do is come back here, but you're gonna be corrupted. But still, you're gonna be able to be saved, because the only thing that can beat hate is love. And when people see their loved ones on the other side, you think they gonna stick here on this planet to be a ghost and torment other people for the rest of their lives? Nah, they gonna switch over. When you die, that's the only time you get to see God. When you die, you gain your powers. You gain the powers that God had. You get to fight other bad people, watch over your kids to make sure they don't end up in the wrong hands. A lot go down in the world that we don't see. This life right here, this is not a sci-fi movie. It don't matter how much money you come across, you're never gonna be happy if you don't have the right spirit. You gotta know what to do with it. You gotta want to give back. You gotta actually have. Damn, I can't get the word out because I'm staring at the camera. That's just how bad it is. You stare at the camera, you're not gonna be able to get your words out. If you actually want to do good and give back to other people, you gotta stand on that. But yeah, that was my little short message. You gotta know who you is, dog, and you gotta dish out good into the world, just like you can dish out bad. I had some McDonald's the other day. I threw the bag out the window. My awareness kicked in just that quick. I knew better than that. I felt bad that I did it because I put somebody else in a predicament to have to pick up my trash. You know what I did? I turned my car around, I went and got it. And I wait till I got home to throw it away. It's not about being the most perfect human being. It's about acknowledging your wrongs, wanting to do better. Because as soon as you do that, boy, the bees gonna come to you. I'm trying to tell you, the bees gonna come to you. But y'all be easy though.